Joining us now from Capitol Hill, Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu, member of the House Judiciary Committee. You're so busy. We're grateful that you're here. Do you believe Donald Trump and the Republicans are interested in doing anything on gun control, sir?
I believe that Abraham Lincoln had it right when he said public sentiment is everything. With it, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed. So if the public sentiment is there to have gun safety legislation, I think it will happen. And what we know is the Republicans and Donald Trump, that their policies on gun control and gun safety have not worked over many decades, and what we need is try a new approach. That's why the House Judiciary Committee, we passed out 3 gun safety measures late last night.
Take us through what happens next. Is the strategy for them to pass and then go over to the Senate, or is the strategy something less than that, to shame the Republicans or to get some political votes on the board?
So the House of Representatives already passed on a bipartisan basis a universal background checks bill to the U.S. Senate. It has 97% support among the American public. We're trying to put pressure on Senator Mitch McConnell to take that bill up for a vote. If it goes up for a vote, it will pass the U.S. Senate. And our hope is we can get that through to the presidency and have Donald Trump sign it. We do need the public to continue calling in to both the White House and to the U.S. Senate to get them to take that bill up for a vote.
Let me turn to the investigations. Your committee turning to what would seem like a bucket of abuse of power, largely witnesses that were named in Robert Mueller's report, people like Don McGahn, the former White House counsel, Hope Hicks, Annie Donaldson, Corey Lewandowski. How are any of those interviews scheduled?
So we know that Corey Lewandowski has agreed to come in. We expect to have him come in this month. We have additional witnesses we'll be interviewing, some using staff to interview, and others will have them come during a public hearing. And this is all to educate the American people. There already is a mountain of evidence that Donald Trump committed multiple felonies.
Congressman, do you understand the critique that the Southern District of New York found Donald Trump to have committed a felony campaign finance violation in their investigation, that Robert Mueller found Donald Trump likely to have committed 10 criminal acts of obstruction of justice, and that this time to educate the public may have been squandered?
So we know, if you look at what happened during Watergate, it takes a while to get all the facts out to the public. I wish everyone would watch your show on Msnbc. That's not the case. So we do have to continue to highlight these issues. And it's something we're going to continue doing in the Judiciary Committee, have hearings, do the investigations, and bring the facts forth to the American people.
I take your point. We do spend a lot of time talking about Donald Trump's criminality because of its abundance. And on the question of corruption, that seems to have replaced the Russia cloud that he often talked to. The corruption cloud is the new one hanging over him. I think it can be, you can attribute his sinking poll numbers to stories like Turnberry, to trying to corrupt the National Weather Service, to something I think your committee is going to look at, dangling of pardons in front of people who break the laws in carrying out his desired immigration policies. What's the strategy on that larger umbrella of corruption and criminality inside the federal government?
So Democrats have been running an agenda of 3 items. It was health care, infrastructure, and the third one was getting rid of corruption. And I think you're absolutely right that this is bringing down his poll numbers. What we see in the polls is it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent, you don't like corruption. And what the American people are seeing is Donald Trump profiting off the presidency, getting money for the Trump organization for him and his family, and having the U.S. military do these stops so they can stay at his luxury resort in Scotland, and then getting the Weather Service to put false facts out there when their folks in Birmingham had the real facts. So this is very troubling to American people.
Break down the vote tomorrow. What does it mean? What does it help you do?
It allows us to have certain procedures in terms of reviewing grand jury testimony, having staff do interviews. It will expedite the continuing impeachment inquiry that we've been in.
Congressman Ted Lieu, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for spending